Okay, I'm here for Duncan's roadmap to success. Now, Duncan is right over there off camera, and he's got a favorite toy in his mouth, and he's just kind of sitting there holding it. He is, I think, exhausted. I think that his guardian has thought that he needed more awake time. And so I think that contributed to some of the issues that was going on. So he looks like now he's about ready to go to sleep. And so we took him out. I mean, he just got really mouthy. When dogs get overly mouthy, overly nippy, a lot of times it means they're overly tired and they need a nap. And so I think for him, sleep deprivation has caused a lot of these problems, also a lot of confusion. So he went to a board and train, and I don't think that helped him. They did probably a lot of things because he showed me a lot of signs of submission and all that. You know, when I'd approach him, he'd like roll over, give me his belly, and some things that told me that he didn't have maybe the best interaction with trainers. So hopefully this is a much better interaction. Let me go through and summarize all the things we covered today. So the first thing we did is we went over a marker word. A marker, and it'll be linked up above in the write-up. So watch that one before you, let me see, what is today, Friday? By the end of the weekend, I want you to finish loading. So loading means you're gonna say yes and put a treat in his mouth, and do not delay. Your job is to say yes and get the treat in his mouth as fast as you can, between 1 and 3 seconds, the maximum. So don't do it if he's across the room. And then again, he doesn't have to do anything. So once you say yes, put the treat into his mouth and take 3 or 5 steps, do it around. I like to do it everywhere in the house. So every room, the dog knows that yes works. You want to get this done by Sunday, and then same thing with a clicker. But keep it behind your back the first couple times because he was off put. So click, treat, click, treat, click, treat. And walk around your house doing the same thing. When you click or say yes, he should stop and look up at you. That's when you know you're done loading it. He's whimpering now because he's tired. And so that's the marker word. The marker, everything is built on the marker. The marker is your way of saying good dog. So try not to say good boy or good dog. When you want to say good boy or good dog, say yes. Yes and nothing else for 5 seconds so we can resonate on that one word. Yes means you did a good job. We also went over hand targeting, the teaching is touch his nose to your hand when you say boop. I have a video that should be linked above on how to do that. Keep on practicing that one, and remember, eventually when it's easy to do, then you would say boop, then you would chop. Remember, the cue always comes before the action, but we don't introduce the cue until we're 90% certain when we lure the dog, it's gonna do the action. So I usually lure until it's easy to lure, and then I would say sit, lure, yes, treat. While we're on that subject, I would recommend I don't think he has a great sit verbal cue. So what I would do is hold the treat to his lips, and you want to kind of go and arc over his head. Now I practice what I call the invisible rubber band. So if I'm trying to track the dog up and I go like this and he doesn't follow the treat gets pulled back to his lips. So wherever you go, the treat is pulled back to his lips. You want to keep the treat against his lips the whole time. So you lure him and look up, and that gets his butt to sit down. As soon as the butt sits down, you click or say yes, and then give him the treat. Then lure him up out of it and keep on doing that. Don't worry about saying sit. If you have to say sit more than once and he's not doing it, just lure them. That's the beauty of the marker word, is we only say it when they're successful. So we should be 100% accurate. So eventually when you get to the point where you can get him to do that, I'd like you to do the training for attention lesson that I did. So and use your clicker for that. They just kind of puts them in programs them in a training mode. So tell him to sit, he sits, click, give him a treat, take 3 steps away, do it again, walk around your house. Let's have him practice listening to you, hearing the clicker, and then getting a reward. And at first I would do just sits and eventually do it down. You can do touch too. Touch is just hard to do with the clicker. I'd probably just say yes for that one. But I'd like you to be doing the loading exercise again. You want to be done the next couple days. I'd like you to spend 1 to 2 minutes practicing teaching him sits, either luring him like I just got done talking about, or walking around and clicking for it. 1 minute in the morning, 1 minute in the afternoon, 1 minute midday on the days that you're not working. That helps it go into his long-term memory much better, more frequent. Shorter practice sessions always end on a successful repetition. That's the brightest memory he's going to draw from. And practice in a lot of variety. Practice in the guest room, practice in your bedroom, practice out here, practice facing this way, practice facing that way, sitting, kneeling, and so on. But the more that you ask him to do something, he does something, the better behaved he's going to be, because he respects you and he understands that listening to gets me rewards. Right now, not listening to and misbehaving is what's got him the rewards. Remember, there's going to be extinction burst. He's going to bark more. He's going to bite more before he understands that doesn't work. Don't even look at him to go, all that stuff he recognizes. Right? Go to Costco or whatever and get yourself a couple boxes of cookies, brownies, or whatever. Get him some cards and write the card, send it to your neighbor above, below, and on either side. And again, hey, I understand that I have a dog that barks a little bit. I hired a behaviorist. It was very expensive. I can give you his card if you want. No, just kidding. But he was very expensive, but he gave me a lot of tools. But he said that, you know, I need to practice on this stuff. And he said he might, kind of because he's in a habit, bark a little bit more. If he does, here's my phone number. If you need quiet, call or text me. I will immediately take him out on a walk and you will get silence. But I wanted to let you know what's going on. I'm aware that he's barking. I'm working on it. And I hope that the silence will soon be golden. And then sign it, you know, and give it to all your neighbors on either side. So that way they can call and reach out to you. All right. We also went over the soft mouth exercise. And I think I covered those in the video, so I'm not going to talk about those. But we also talked about celebrating, which is rewarding him when he does the things that you want. And again, for him, I think he's very confused as to what it is you want. So get in a habit of petting him when he sits, comes, lays down, drops things, goes to the dog bed, gives you eye contact, drinks water, picks up a bone, whatever it is. And so you're saying yes when he does the action and then giving him a pet. If he's got something in his mouth, just say yes and scratch his butt. Don't worry about giving him a treat. The more that he picks things up and you give him attention, the more he's likely to pick things up. And when he picks things up, he's got something in his mouth. He's occupied. He can't bite you. And he can chew on the things you're promoting good mouth behavior. We also went, so watch the video and write up on celebrating. Make sure you practice that. That is the easiest thing that I cover that is the most profound, but only if you get into a habit of doing it. We also went over, let me see, what else did we go over? We went over dog consent. So remember, petting him on top of the head, starting contact here, he interprets that as domination. Remember, if his ears flip back, if he turns away from you, ducks his head, looks at you sideways, or doesn't come to you, that's his way of saying, I feel uncomfortable or I don't want it. That's called a cut-off signal. Respect those as much as possible. If he says no and we keep on doing it anyways, he isn't going to listen to us. This is where some of this mouthiness might be coming from. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you want to come here in the shot? There we go. I got the Santa dog. All right. So watch for signs of consent and cutoff signals, and respect them. And that way he doesn't need to bite you, because when I say no, by turning my head to the side, you stop. All right, we also went over, let me see, what else? We went over some creative exercise tips. I would recommend switching him over to structured feeding. So basically, he has free food, and so the food doesn't have as much of a value for him. So go over, put the food in his bowl, eat a piece of cracker or something yourself, and then go over and tap the bowl and call his name, invite him over to eat it. Yes. And come here, buddy. Oh, you almost ate it. Come here. And so if he goes over and looks at his food and doesn't eat it, no big deal. Don't over-encourage him to do it. If he doesn't do it, we'll put Santa up here for you. If he doesn't do it, that's fine. As soon as he walks away from his food, say yes, or as soon as he walks away from his food, pick up the bowl, dump the bowl empty, put the empty bowl back down. Do not punish him. Don't say, oh, somebody's not eating. Make it a very nonchalant thing. In the wild, he would spend 90% of his time looking for food. If he doesn't find it, the food doesn't wait, or if he finds something and takes a walk, the food doesn't wait around. Some other animal's going to take it. So when he walks away from his bowl, he's saying, I'm cool with not eating this. So start dumping his food as soon as he walks away, and don't feed him again to the next meal. You can do training. Training will actually spike his appetite a little bit. But don't try to compensate. Don't cheat, because the hunger becomes your ally. Usually most dogs don't eat until the second or third day. And then when he does eat, then you can start coming up with a cue. You can say lasagna or pork chop or meatball or whatever you want to say. Sushi, and tap his bowl, and he goes over and eats. And after he eats sushi, means eat your bowl, eat your food. Once you've gotten him to the point he's had maybe a week or two where he's eating everything you put down when you put it down, then I would get a Rundick snuffle mat. Rundick is the one I like, the one I showed you the video on. It's gray. It has a picture of a golden retriever, and it's a gray snuffle mat. Feed him his meals out of that. If he gets smart and picks it up and shakes it around, just put a dumbbell on top of it. So this will cause him to use his nose to eat. This will burn some energy. He needs, I think, more exercise and more sleep. He's a Boston. They got the crazy dogs. They have a lot of energy. What are you doing? Weirdo. Is there some good stuff in there? Yes. Yes, there's good stuff. It's the dog behaviorist back. All right. So if he's getting the things you don't want, just remove his access to him. Try not to take him away. Now, if he's got something in his mouth like this, he's got a sushi in his mouth, I can say, yes. And I don't touch the object. Teach him to drop things. Now, when I'm going to touch it again, I told you not to do it, but just for demonstration. So he's eventually, when you know he's going to drop it, drop, yes, treat. So that's how you teach that. And this isn't a lesson that you practice like a lot of reps. When he has something, quietly pull out a treat. Try not to crinkle the bag. That'll cause him. Just hold it to his lips. As soon as he drops it, say yes and put it in his mouth. And when he starts dropping it right away, that's when you would say drop, present the treat. He drops it, yes. That way you can get him to drop the things that you don't want him to have. Let me see. We also went over cookie in the corner. That's one where I threw the treats over here. We also went over the scent game of putting about 5 or 6 smelly treats under a towel and holding that towel taut. When he noses or paws at it, we say yes. We reach under, grab it, and give him the treat. And then we would do that again until he can get all those. So it's, again, a nice way for him to get engagement. Remember, we did the box enrichment. Boxes should be only half the length of his leg. So the first thing you do is throw the treat in the box so he just gets used to sticking his head in there. Once you do that and he's sticking his head in there easily without any hesitation, take a piece of paper towel or a newspaper rag or whatever, put a piece of kibble, fold it up a little bit, another piece of kibble, fold it up. Keep on doing that so each wad has like 6 to 12 pieces of treats. Put those in there and then get a bunch of pieces of paper that you cut up that are about like this big between my fingers. And I call it doggy confetti. Float a lot of those in there with a couple of these wads and some loose treats. He's gonna be rooting around in that box looking for stuff. If the box moving throws him off, get a brick or a rock or something put in there to kind of weight the box down. Eventually he's going in there and he's pulling out these wads and unrolling them and getting all the treats, teaching him not to eat the paper, but instead open the paper and look for the treat inside. Eventually you can put them in the toilet paper tubes or the paper towel rolls or put a small box inside of another box. All this stuff has kibble and treats in it. It's a nice way for him to have some energy burn. If you're using his dry kibble, you can have some of these stuck in your closet. So when you come home from work, you're tired, you can pull out like 5 boxes and let him down there. But if you took him to Wags, I'd probably come home, have him go to the crate, you know, do your wind down thing, put him in the crate and you go to sleep. But on the days when you're not at work, practice that kennel game exercise. Now, if I don't have it linked above, I have a video on kennel training. So I'll message me. I'm happy to share that with you. Remember, we're doing that in steps. The first step is just tossing the treat, and when he's actually stepping all 4 paws inside, we click or give him a treat. We don't close the door. We keep on doing that till he goes in there and starts lingering, which he was really easily. Then we close the door, and I usually hold the treat off to the side, close the door a little bit, and then release the treat. Close the door, open it, release the treat. Close the door a little bit more, open it, release the treat. And gradually you're closing it. Eventually close it all the way, open it all the way, give him a treat, and he's comfortable. The door closing doesn't mean I'm being trapped here. It just means I'm going to get a treat in eventually. And eventually then I close it and I jiggle it. I don't latch it. I just jiggle it and then give him a treat. I'm holding it off to the side. Jiggle lightly, then louder, and you have 2 latches. So do it, the top one and the bottom one. Jiggle and then give him the treat. Jiggle and give him the treat. Eventually when I latch it, then I start giving treats to the side. And now I'm increasing the duration between delivering each treat. So he's staying there for longer and longer periods of time. He should not be pawing at the door. If he's pawing at the door, it's too much. Open the door and let him out before that. We don't want him to paw and have you open the door, so that teaches him pawing is how I get out. Your job is to get him out of there before he needs to paw. And eventually you're getting to the point where he's in there longer periods of time, and then you can start getting up and walking outside the door. And again, do it in small stages, gradually getting more and more. Eventually when you close the door, 1 second outside, and then you go back inside. Eventually 10, 20, 30, 50, a minute, 2 minutes. And he's practicing being in there, being calm. Make sure you put him in a sit every time you walk away. And if he gets up out of the sit, that's an indication he might feel a little bit antsy. So that means you might go to a lower level. Instead of 15 seconds, 13 seconds. And if you get a security camera, you can watch what's going on. That can be really helpful because you get to see what happens when you close the door. Leave treats in there. Every time you leave, get done, sneak a treat in there. So every time he goes in there, I want this part of his patrol. Every time he goes in there and something good happens, that's kennel training. So if you leave a treat in there and you're in the bathroom and he goes in there and gets a treat, you kennel train him while you're doing the loo. So every time he gets a new toy, put it in there. You can also get a bully stick. You have a whole bunch of those things. You have too many of them out. Because you have so many of them out, they don't have much value. It's awesome that you're getting your dog amazing stuff. You're getting all the right stuff. Just only have 1 or 2 out. What I like to do is take a bully stick, drill a hole in the end of it, take a zip tie and zip it to the back of the kennel in the bottom. The only place you can chew that thing is in the crate. He's choosing to in the crate. Good things are happening and he gets to leave whenever he wants. Remember, practicing when you don't need it is highly underrated when it comes to dogs. So practicing anything you want him to do when he doesn't need to do it is the best way to go about it. Like, for example, the leash. He gets excited for the leash. So get the leash, attach the leash, give him a treat, and then sit down and watch a little TV. Take it off, walk somewhere else. Put the leash on, give him a treat, and do something else. Get him used to the leash goes on, and then we watch TV, we drink cocktails or whatever it is. Sometimes it means we go for a walk, sometimes it doesn't, so I'm not overexcited. When you're getting ready for a walk, don't tell him you're going to take him for a walk, just leash him up and leave. When you come home and depart, if you're not taking him with you, don't say goodbye. Oh, you're home. It's great when your dogs love us, but you're making it a big deal, and that can make more separation anxiety. I know, you're tired. And so so again, for exercise for him, he needs probably exercise about every 2 to 4 hours, unless it's the day that he's gone to WAGs. And he probably needs to be sleeping at least once an hour. So I'd probably practice the kennel training once an hour. And so that, not necessarily once an hour, 3 times a day minimum is what I like to see. But if you can practice more often, that's better. But your schedule is crazy. When you're working, you can't really practice as much. When you're not, you can practice a little bit more. But practicing when you don't need is really key. Also try to incorporate some rules. Sit before I start preparing your food. Sit before I open the door. Sit before I open the kennel and let you out. It's just kind of a little bit of his tip of his cap to your respect for you. I have to sit to get what I want. And also practice a little impulse control, which will help in a lot of other areas. Carry around a bully stick or something in your back pocket or one of your pockets. So if he starts nibbling on you, again, probably he's tired or needs exercise. But if it's not either one of those things, tease him with it. Don't just give it to him. Tease it. Move it around, kind of don't hurt him, but tap his shoulders and stuff. And let him kind of start chasing this thing. And he latches onto it. Pull on it. You can hold on it a little bit, but let him pull it away from you. Then it becomes his trophy. He walks away and does this. And after a while, now you've redirected him to an appropriate toy instead of you. Pick up another one and put it in your back pocket so you always have one with you. I'd also recommend you get a rope toy, something about this length, and hold it and play with it, flop it around, and let him pull it, play tug of war. Dogs love playing tug of war. But when you're playing this game, the reason you're playing this game is to teach him that anytime he touches you with his teeth, you drop the toy and the game is done. So this gives him motivation to be more particular about his mouth instead of being so mouthy. Let me see, what else do we cover? Anything else you want me to go over? Probably leaving out a lot of stuff we covered. We've been a little over 3 hours. If you have any questions, please text me. If I don't hear from you, that means everything's going well. So please text or call if you have any questions. I have thousands of videos. I'm happy to share them with you. Most of my clients I talk to once a week for the first couple of weeks. Now this video in particular, I'd like you to get in the habit of watching this once a week until when you watch this video, there's nothing new or nothing you haven't adopted. At that point, if you're still having issues, let me know. We can set up a follow-up session. But I want you to get all your money's worth out of this session first. All right, well, this is my buddy. Yes. This is my little buddy Duncan, and he's orally pacifying himself, so we're going to let him hang out. This is Duncan's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.